Guys, grab your lotion. I'd recommend lubing up for this news because, quite frankly, it's a lot to take in. Not in a bad way, just in like a really my hands are dry because it's winter kind of way. You know, it's like handling a lot of news, I want to be well equipped for the job. What is up, guys? It is your boy, Sam here, back with another video. What is happening to Apple news? It has been the busiest January of my entire life with absolutely no signs whatsoever of slowing down. And the hype continues today with more news about Apple's next generation of M series Macs, which I don't know. I just feel like they're finally listening, and we've got more information about the next iMac redesign, which is literally, I think, going to be the most beautiful computer ever created, in addition to a completely revamped Mac Pro already with Apple Silicon inside. Yet I actually want to start off with the iPhone. Wait, what if it's actually not called iPhone 13? In fact, a few days ago on Twitter, I predicted this. I said, I have a feeling that Apple is going to use the S moniker for the iPhone 12 upgrade in 2021. How do we know? There's not one instant, maybe you could argue between the 7 and the 8, but really not one time between the iPhone 4 and 4S, 5 and 5S, 6 and 6S, 10 and 10S. Every time after a major design upgrade, Apple does S the next year. Even the 7 and the 8, they're the outliers here to me because they technically were just the iPhone 6 design, albeit a little bit different. The screen size, 4.7 inches, was the same. It really was not a design change. It was just a smaller reiteration. But every time after they do a major redesign, Apple always does S the next year. Plus, there's a lot of negative connotation, at least here in the US, with the number 13. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh, my hotel can't have floor 13. Sorry to break it to you, but the way numbers work, even if it says 14, it's still the 13th floor of the hotel, and you're probably going to be cursed either way. I almost drank lotion after that take. No, I just, it's silly to me. Maybe it's not. I get it. So for me in general, I have some reservations about iPhone 13. I just feel like it doesn't have that same ring to it. And also, it's when are we going to get up to a point where it's just crazy? Samsung is on the S21, and they jumped from the S11, I think, to the S20. I think these companies are starting to struggle with how to name these products. So what can Apple do right now to not jump to 13? Just use S. And Mark Gurman has told us that internally, Apple is already calling the 2021 iPhone upgrade an S year. Now, generally, that means fewer features over, the previous massive update. However, I have always been a huge S year guy because to me, it's when we see some of the biggest and best innovation that Apple has ever given us. If you look at the 4S, that was Siri. The 5S, Touch ID. The 6S, 3D Touch, which to this day was one of my favorite features. I'm still sad that it's gone. But in the same report, again, Gurman, who is 90% accurate, gives us just some detail about what to expect this year. And to me, it just screams significant updates, like putting Touch ID in the display. It is not going to be in the power button like in the iPad Air. That's sort of that mid-tier device. Apple is going full send, and they will plan to put Touch ID under the screen, which is so cool because they also are leaving Face ID. So you're gonna have those two forms to get into your phone. I think it's just brilliant, and especially if we're still wearing masks in any capacity, the ability to just use your fingerprint on the screen. Samsung, Android has had this for years, and I just want it in my iPhone. I've been damn, I wish I had that feature. What else would be good in an S year upgrade? Maybe to test something that will have larger implications for the next big upgrade in a year or two from now. I know this is controversial, but we've also learned that Apple is actively testing some devices without a lightning connector, which is just so depressing and disheartening that I've been doing this for 8 years and I will never see USB-C on an iPhone. This is the ultimate troll from Apple. They know everyone wants this. They know that we need it. And rather than delivering the goods, they went back and just robbed the whole store. I'm sure I'm gonna be talking about this more in the future just because that will be that's a pretty big change to go portless on the iPhone. But I wireless charge, I would actually see no quality of life difference whatsoever if they took the port off. I exclusively charge via wireless charging or MagSafe. So you guys are going to be screwed, but hey, I feel pretty good about this. And ooh, baby, speaking about changes, can we talk about this new iMac design? You guys have followed me on Twitter. I mentioned to follow me on Twitter. You better be following me on Twitter or you're going to get a spanking. If there is one single product that I think about probably every day, I don't know if it's healthy, I don't know if it's weird, but unironically, I do. It is the brand new 2021 iMac. Why? Because believe it or not, the iMac has been in this unibody aluminum design since 2009. See, we've speculated about this forever, and I've said, man, if they just slimmed down the bezels or made it look kind of like the, the squared off design, that would just be like the perfect computer. And I kid you not, that's what's coming. Gurman says that the new design will be reminiscent of the ultra-thin bezels like on the Pro Display XDR. For those of you not familiar, it's the monitor that I look on Apple's website at every single day and then go, man, the stand for this thing's $1,000. I don't know if I can justify $5,000 for like 6K worth of pixels, but it's also the most beautiful display I've ever seen. And I do look at it and say, wow, like if I could just have that, that would be great. But again, $6,000 for the full package. What if it had a computer inside and was less than half the cost of that? That's what we're hearing this new iMac is going to be. And just like in the first ever aluminum unibody iMac, this is going to have a flat back as well. So I have a feeling Apple's essentially taking the architecture from the Pro Display XDR of like this very relatively thin, squared off iPad Pro-esque monitor, and apparently it's going to have like an iPhone 12 iPad Pro-like vibe on it as well. We heard that from Sonny Dixon in the past. Like, this iMac, it is going to take a miracle for Apple to mess this thing up, because I kid you not, I could not imagine a machine that sounds better for what I do. I love working on one display. And I assume that Apple would stop there for desktops in 2021, like considering we just got the radically redesigned Mac Pro in 2019, the one that had not been updated since 2013. Very big gap in between. So here's what Apple's planning for the Mac Pro next. Interestingly enough, Apple is planning to keep around the current design with Intel. Why would Apple do this? Obviously, there are some specific people that are in the business world or the engineering world where like Intel could be optimized for certain tasks that Apple Silicon is not better at yet. I would never buy a computer like this, but I think there are some customers that Apple's obviously done research on or spoken with that are like, yeah, Apple Silicon's cool, but like there is something that Intel can offer in some cases. I'm saying these are very specific niche, absolutely not the right thing for the rest of the market. So Apple's gonna leave that around, but they're doing something special. They're doing something special with the next redesigned Mac Pro that has Apple Silicon inside. Does anybody remember the Power Mac G4 Cube? I honestly never saw one of these. I don't ever remember going to an Apple store in my life and seeing it. I feel like it was like right before, I got into Apple as like a fan back in the day. But this computer broadly failed. It was just too specific. It didn't serve enough power for what it was. And while it looked beautiful, it kind of looked like Apple Store 5th Avenue. It didn't hit the market well, and Apple ultimately canceled it pretty soon after. It wasn't hitting right, even though I love the translucent peripherals and design. Like this elevated computer, there's something there that I am into. Apparently, Apple is planning to redesign a Mac Pro that is less than half the size of the 2019 one that came out. That's going to look vaguely reminiscent of this, albeit with like an aluminum design. It doesn't say anything about like plastic or glass, just because I feel like plastic would make a super expensive Mac Pro feel really cheap. However, we don't know anything about pricing. We don't know if this Apple Silicon will be just as powerful as Intel, and this is Apple saying, hey, look how small we can do this. I'm in, okay? I'm gonna get one of these if they come out. You got me. There, I've committed. Somebody tweet this at me and hold me to it in case I try to, maybe I don't want, no. I'm gonna wanna buy this computer. Sam, you're gonna wanna buy this computer. I've said it in that last video, the Mac is back, but like really, the Mac is coming back on top of some other solid releases. So wanted to update you on all of this today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. If you did, drop a like down below. Hit subscribe for more. I'm Sam. Catch cool cats in my next video. Peace.